Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to the Procraft sessions where we have with us today a very special guest. You've heard of Varun Singh before, I'm sure. Great guitarist. He's been playing with probably several bands and in the studios. He's been playing these SQOE guitars today, and I'm sure he's got a lot to say about each and every model that he's tested today. So, of course, we'll hear from him. And then we have Keegan, who is the product expert, and he'll be letting us know more about the specifications of these guitars. So let's start with the first guitar that we checked out.
One we have is the SEST 610. It's called the Dark Knight series, and one thing that SQOE has been doing is they've come out with these lovely colors and looks. So we had a lot of other models that did really well. The SEST 600 is always out of stock, and it just shows the quality that we have here. So you've played this guitar for a while. You listen to what he's played on it. So what were your first thoughts?
My first thought was this did not feel and play like an entry-level instrument. Okay, the fact that a beginner would start with this is a very good guitar to start on. Okay, so it really felt like an intermediate, like a mid-level series because it's a really nicely done guitar. The first thing I plugged in, the low end is so nice. The very first impression is you get a big sound. You're like this from the amp. So this guitar has that. I mean, it's always, the pickups are nicely put up. It's got a good neck, very good playability. No, pointy edges on the frets. They've really paid attention to the fretwork here, and it's a good resonant body. So notes high up, even here, are sustaining. Very good playability. You can play slow, and you can pretty much play all like fast. It's got 22 frets, so you feel like shredding on it and going all out with your humbucker. But it does have a coil split.
Yes.
So it's essentially still a traditional, Strat. The main thing is, man, for a beginner, this is quite good. This is like
I'd say even if someone was moving from a beginner to a professional, and you started off with a really cheap guitar, and then you're like, okay, I just need something a little better. This I think would do well on stage. I'll go over the specs real quick. So the body is made of basswood. The neck has roasted maple, which I think is really cool. And you were mentioning about the pickups being really loud. So it's called the Earthquake set by SQOE itself. And these are not Alnico files, these are ceramic pickups, but again, really good output. The construction, the attention to detail is something that SQOE has always been associated with. So even from my experience with customers, it's a lot of people getting their first electric guitar. They don't have to think much, because if you're getting your first electric, you don't know much about electric guitars, how they work. So people have come to trust the brand SQOE. They can just pick up this guitar and know that it will last them for long. So that's about who this guitar is for and the pros, and we can't really think of any cons, any negative aspect of this guitar. So now we've looked at this entry level guitar. Let's go a little further and check the next Strat style guitar that we have, which is the SEIB 680. Now this is kind of a blend between a Strat and a Super Strat. So it's HSS style, but again you have those higher specs on them.
So yeah. So what did you think of this guitar?
First of all, I really love the color. It's got a great finish on it, and the second you put your hands on this, you can already feel the improvement that's gone up in terms of everything, overall quality. That you really feel it's got a little more higher end hardware and all these small little details that's in there. You really feel, okay, now this is like a real proper mid to, like a professional instrument. Again, great neck, great feel, super playability, and it plays like a real traditional Strat, very spongy, very nice. You can't help but not play Stevie Ray Vaughan on this. So it's that's the thing.
Yeah, so just again I'll go over the specs. This actually has a maple top, and the body is made of a different kind of wood, similar to a voicing of mahogany, and you have a roasted maple neck. So again, the maple top gives it a little more resonance that you probably felt.
Yeah.
And the spanky stuff that you were talking about really helps. And of course, they have like the traditional tremolo system. That's why I say it's kind of a hybrid between the two. But it's really interesting, the sound. Again, going for SQOE. Now, who do you think this guitar would be ideal for?
Good question. So, I mean, the previous guitar that we spoke about was it's stationed as the first guitar that people can get. I'm saying if you've got a good enough budget and you want a guitar that will really last you for not just the next 2 or 3 years, but pretty much a longer time than that. 5, 7, 8, 10 years, for all. So that could be a guitar where a beginner could stretch out their budget if they can and get a real quality instrument. Because if you play these two guitars back to back, you will know once you play the previous guitar, you'll get to know what you were missing on. And I can see even the hardware is different.
Yes,
these are different
it's got
tuning,
nice machines.
Yeah.
And here the pick guard.
Like this.
The pick guard is that pearloid
Correct.
pick guard that we have here,
Yeah, again, back to the color, SQOE making guitars that look great because people today want aesthetics as well as tonality.
No, it's a nice purple. I look good in the pictures with this. It's a good guitar.
All right, now that we've seen Strat style bodies, let's move to its friendly brother, the Les Paul. Right, so this is the SELP 110 by SQOE. Again, this is not an extremely expensive guitar. It could be someone's first electric guitar if they have a decent enough budget. So Varun, after playing it, what are your first impressions about it?
Yeah, so pretty good guitar, very resonant. It's got that fat Les Paul sound which you expect out of it. When I started out playing guitar, it's the first things I was doing is I was playing AC/DC riffs.
Yes.
And that is, you can play on, all AC/DC riffs can be played on this guitar for like till tomorrow.
Correct.
Of the next week. Okay. So it's superb. I love playing all your classic rock and roll, but I was very surprised with how the other pickup positions sound.
Okay.
So that will really take you from an intermediate to from like a beginner guitar player to a more intermediate standard, where you really start learning about all these controls, how to get these different sounds. Because it's not just playing this bridge pickup at 11, you know, it's not just that. It's got a whole range of sounds which, if you dive into it, this guitar is going to keep giving as you keep exploring more.
True.
That's a nice thing about this one. Apart from that, playability is superb. I like the feel of the frets. It's really good, very comfortable, and the neck is also not extremely one of those thick necks. It's feels really comfortable.
Awesome. So I'll just go over the specs again. Mahogany body. It's got a mahogany neck with a rosewood fretboard. And you mentioned about the pickups cleaning up really well. Now these actually have Alnico 5 pickups in them. And if you see the price of it and you think for that price you're getting Alnico 5s, it's incredible. What they've done is, in this case, they've used a bolt-on neck instead of a neck-through construction. And that's just something that helps with the, like in the manufacturing process, how to cut down on cost and time. This is one way that SQOE figures out that, okay, I don't want to compromise too much, but at the same time I have to keep it
interesting you said that. I didn't even feel it's...
Yes.
I thought it was neck through. I just noticed it after playing this guitar for so long. Right?
Yeah, that was my first experience as well. It's fun to see SQOE just thinking outside the box. You would normally would not see a bolt-on neck on a Les Paul.
But you know, you mentioned that this could be somebody's first guitar. If it's hanging on a guitar stand or on a hanger, whatever, somebody would really think of it being one of those premium guitars, and you know, absolutely. Not touching it, thinking, okay, this probably is not in my budget. But after I got to hear the price, and I was stumped, because this kind of a guitar in another brand is way higher.
Yes.
Especially when the specs come in and then the finish, everything really. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, again, just looking at this guitar, I don't know.
And even at the sound, it's when I spoke to you how much this guitar would probably cost, I was like, no way.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds great. The pickups do a great job.
So now we've seen the Strats, we've seen Les Pauls, and we're going to see something that's kind of takes a little bit of both worlds. It's called the Arsenal Horns. Yeah, so this is the SE200. It's called the Arsenal's Devil Horns shape. Kind of takes a little bit from the Les Paul, takes a little bit from the Strat. So again, Varun, first thoughts.
All right, so my first thoughts when I picked this up, it's got that very, what do you say, that big guitar sound of a proper full range humbucker. As you play, you'll hear it in the tones that I play. It sounds quite deep, and it's very nice top end. So it's got a full range of spectrum, just like how humbucker into a good resonant wood should sound like. So sound wise, it's got 10 on 10 thing going on. Just the sound, I think the first thing I played was just the neck pickup into a clean sound. and the second you hit that first chord, you're like, it's there. And playability is great. It's got 24 frets, so it's got way too many frets that I don't know what to do. I usually play 22, so it's 24 all the way. Another very, very cool feature is, because I play with a lot of singer-songwriters where you need that glassy sound, so you can use a coil tap on the neck as well as the bridge.
Yeah.
And then you can combine those sounds as well.
Yeah, so you get more
options. It's got it all pretty much. So you get all these spectrum of tones, and then the bridge pickup is all out, rock, heavy metal, wherever you want to, whatever settings you want to put with your amp. Playability wise, this is the first thing that came to my mind is these tall, very nice
jumbo frets,
which really wants to, make you dig into the frets, any note that you play. Mm-hmm. And the best part is the guitar gives the sound back. It's not just you hitting it and then the sound just getting lost. The guitar is giving it back.
Absolutely, yeah. This has got a mahogany body and rosewood neck. But since you mentioned the frets, these are stainless steel jumbo frets. And something that I loved about it is that it just gives you that enough room to dig in, which you don't find on a lot of guitars. Just the way it's set up and the way it feels. This is one of the guitars that as soon as I picked it up, I felt that I could feel that grip really well. Neck construction, the fret ends, the finishing on them.
Yeah.
Just makes playability really nice. Who do you think this would be for?
I see it's got a Wilkinson bridge.
Yes, it's got a
and all these sort of things. So it still has quality components, good enough for you to still continue your journey into like an intermediate level to a pro level. Because this guitar has it all pretty much. It's all there. You've got the coil split features, you've got 24 frets if you ever need that many, and a big high cutaway. You'll not get into a phase where you can outlearn this guitar. You're still going to be playing all these things, they'll be relevant. And it's just a good, solid, robust, quality instrument.
Yeah. Whoever's come to the store and played this guitar has all just been in love with it. It was the first time we got it, it went out of stock very quickly. Now we've gotten it back and we have a few artists who are using it. So overall, really great experience. And now you might think, what else can we expect from SQOE? They've given us so much.
We've heard from Varun what he had to say, and I'm sure a lot sitting at home would want to try these guitars out. It'll be great if they can come to Procraft, check them out, or the dealers that have SQOE guitars near your location. Keegan, I just wanted to know, what do you think about SQOE as a brand, personally, and what are the responses that you get from the guys who are using, the people who are using SQOE guitars, and their after-sales service, very important.
When I first came to Procraft, before I was working here, the first guitars that stuck with me was SQOE. Because I looked at these guitars, I was like, okay, they are all familiar shape, Strat style, etc. And then as soon as I played them, they pay incredible attention to detail. Whether it's sourcing materials for the neck and body, down to even constructing the guitars, making sure, like if you see the quality of the fret finishes, the binding, even on something that would be considered a budget level, they don't skim on any particular aspect of the guitar. Even down to the pickups. One very important feature on all of these guitars that we saw was the tone knobs and the volume knobs. They actually clean up really well. On a lot of cheaper guitars, the volume goes from 0 to 10. There's no in between. You try to roll it off, it's not really going to make a difference. But with SQOE guitars, you have that linear volume control, which is something that I never had growing up. It wasn't until I got like a really high-end guitar that I got that feature. One common response from a lot of customers is the same thing. They'll ask the specs, they'll play it, and then when you tell them the price, it throws them off a little bit because they're like, how can you produce such great guitars for such cheaper prices?
Right.
But then that's what we do at Procraft. We find brands that are obviously not just looking to make money, don't want to just flood the market with products. And that's what we've seen with the customers. They really love their guitars. There are people who buy their SQOE guitars as their first guitar. There are professionals who will buy SQOE guitars as like their third or fourth. They're using it live, they're using it on stage, they're using it in studios because it's so reliable. It gives you such high quality that if you want to get another brand guitar, it's going to cost you much more. I mean, these days, if you're getting the quality for a decent price, why not? Another thing that if you see SQOE has a great entry-level guitars, intermediate, and as you go higher up the scale, their quality just gets better and better. They offer you these really premium-looking hard cases with their guitars, like with the SELP 900, the SEST 1100. Also, what they've been doing is experimenting with colors a lot. Because these days, people want something that looks good. They want something that will look good on their Instagram page or their YouTube channel. And that's something that is a sign of the times. SQOE has got some really interesting colors. If you see this sparkly finish, you've got the purple one. You have the Dark Knight series. And then if you go look at the SEIB 550, the 900, they have these ivory white finishes that sort of blend the white into this natural wood grain. It's something that you'll only imagine on a really high-end guitar, but they're doing it at a budget level. If you're talking about innovation and experimentation, they've also innovated with the technology. Now, these days, we have a lot of digital processing going on, app connectivity. That's the world we live in. So that's where they've come up with the smart guitars. What I have here is the 880, which is a smart guitar, believe it or not. What it does is it incorporates an onboard processor so that you don't have to actually use a pedal board or a DAW. And that processor can be controlled by an app, which is like, imagine having to control your electric guitar through an app is something I wouldn't have imagined even maybe a few years ago. But as soon as you turn that on, you can connect it to the app. And we were earlier dialing in some sounds. I was running through the different aspects. You can load IRs, you can load different speaker cabs, you have different effects that you can add, remove, distortions, overdrives. All of that's happening in that box that you can dial it down to as perfect as you want.
But I think this guitar would need another video.
Yeah, there's a lot to be spoken about.
So I think we need to get Varun to be playing this guitar, coming up with the sounds that it has, and probably the next video that we do would have this guitar in there, and we can probably show the app, the way it's supposed to work. And let's do that. I mean, what do you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It's got like the looper feature, drum machine. There's so much to talk about.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so y'all will have to wait for that. Alright, so till then, Varun is going to take this guitar and explore it. He's a real geek in terms of setting sounds. He knows how to get the great sounds. So he's going to experiment with that and come back and we'll do a detailed video about that. Till then, this was SQOE Guitars. We're talking about the variety and the kind of guitars they have. Do let us know in the comments what are your thoughts on SQOE guitars. If you have already got one or you're looking to buy one, what are some things that you would want us to talk about? And if you have any suggestions, do let us know. Thank you.